This is the fourth and last part to The Woman in the Snow. And the recap from the last stop is where 25 years later, Ray Hammond is the war hero who was actually ended up being the first black driver hired by Metro, and he um, he got in again because of a lot of stuff that has happened in this during this time span, and he had that first snowfall. And when he had the route with the first snowfall of Hall Street Express, he knew what was coming because he had been knowing about this since he was a young kid. And he decided, well, okay, I'm gonna do this. So he did. And he saw her, and when she got to the bus door, he had compassion for her because she was just so fretful about her baby. So even though he was scared, he decided he was going to still let her come. Okay, so that's where we left off. He's putting her on the bus. He opened up the doors for her to get on the bus, and here we go. The woman had form but no substance. Ray could see the snow falling through her. He pushed fear aside. Come on, honey, get out of the cold, Ray said, waving her on board. Eula May stood stony still, looked up at Ray with dark, questioning eyes. The driver understood. He'd seen that look before, not from a dead woman, but from plenty of his passengers. It's okay, I'm for real. Ray Hammond, the first Negro to drive for Metro. Come on now, get on. He coaxed her gently. Eula May moved soundlessly up the steps. She held the infant to her body. Ray couldn't remember ever feeling so cold, not even the Christmas he spent in a Korean foxhole. He'd seen so much death, but never anything like this. The ghost mother consoled her crying baby. Then, with her head bowed, she told her story in quick bursts of sorrow, just as she had 25 years later. 25 years earlier. My husband is in Memphis looking for work. Our baby is sick. She'll die if I don't get help. First off, said Ray, hold your head up. You got no cause for shame. I don't have any money, she said, but if you let me ride, I promise to bring it to you tomorrow. I promise. Ray sighed deeply. The rule book says no money, no ride. But the rule book doesn't say a word about a personal loan. He took out a handful of change out of his pocket, fished around for a dime, and dropped it in the pay box. You're all paid up. Now go sit yourself down while I try to get this bus back to town. Eula May started to the back of the bus. No, you don't. Ray stopped her. You don't have to sit in the back anymore. You can sit right up front. The ghost woman moved to a seat closer, but still not too close to up front. The baby fretted. The young mother comforted her as best she could. Let you see the questions. That last word says foxhole. They rode in silence for a while. Ray checked in the rearview mirror every now and then. She gave no reflection, but when he looked over his shoulder, she was there all right. Nobody will ever believe this, he mumbled. I don't believe it. Things have gotten much better since you've been away, he said, wishing immediately he hadn't opened his mouth. Still, he couldn't or wouldn't stop talking. I owe this job to a little woman just about your size named Mrs. Rosa Parks. Down in Montgomery, Alabama, one day, Mrs. Parks refused to give up a seat she'd paid for because she was a colored woman. Eula May sat motionless. There was no way of telling if she had heard or not. Ray kept talking. Well, they arrested her. So the colored people decided to boycott the buses. Nobody rode for over a year, walked everywhere, formed carpools, or just didn't go rather than ride a bus. The man who led the boycott was named Reverend King. Smart man. We're sure to hear more about him in the future. You still with me? Ray looked around. Yes, she was there. The baby had quieted. It was much warmer on the bus now. Slowly, Ray inched along the icy road, holding the bus steady, trying to keep the back wheels from racing out of control. Where was I? He continued. Oh, yeah, things changed after that Montgomery bus boycott. This job opened up. More changes are on the way. Get this, they got an Irish Catholic running for president. Now, what do you think of that? About that time, Ray pulled the bus over at 17th Street. The lights at Gale Hospital sent a welcome message to those in need on such a frosty night. This is it. Eula May raised her head. You're a kind man, she said. Thank you. Ray opened the door. The night air gusted up the steps and nipped at his ankles. Soundlessly, Eula May stepped off the bus with her baby. Excuse me, Ray called politely. About the bus fare? No need for you to make a special trip back. Consider it a gift. He thought he saw Eula May Daniels smile as she vanished into the swirling snow, never to be seen again. That's the end of The Woman in the Snow. And you'll see I'll need your answers to your questions after this.